Hello, welcome to Movie Musters. 9-1-1 continues a toxic trend with its latest character redemption, and it needs to finally stop. 9-1-1 Season 8, Episode 11 included the unexpected return of Bobby's mother, but the procedural's frustrating pattern of redeeming bad parents threatens the heart of the series. Peter Krause's Bobby Nash leads the 9-1-1 Season 8 cast alongside his team at the 118, Evan Buck Buckley, Oliver Stark, Henrietta Hen Wilson, Aisha Hines, Howard Chimney Han, Kenneth Choi, and Ravi Panikkar, Anirudh Pisharodi, previous Proby, who replaces Eddie Diaz, Ryan Guzman, after his move to Texas. While 9-1-1 has near-death experiences and high-octane medical emergencies, sometimes the most important storylines involve the characters' lives outside of work. Every member of the 118 has a nuanced backstory that explains what kind of person they are and how they ended up in the LAFD. Some found firefighting after extreme trauma, some stumbled into it, and some, like Bobby, were practically born into it. Yet, for all the intense disasters in 9-1-1, the toughest moments to watch throughout are sometimes understated, emotional plots related to a character's very personhood. Bobby especially has had a plethora of harrowing experiences throughout his life, but the relationship with his mother, Ann Hutchinson, Leslie and Warren, may be one of the most complicated. Bobby's relationship with his mother in 9-1-1 explained. We've seen Ann Hutchinson before, and talking to Bobby in 9-1-19-1-1 hinted at Bobby's familial conflict from the very beginning, but it wasn't until the end of 9-1-1 Season 7 that viewers saw more of his childhood. Bobby grew up as the younger son of Captain Tim Nash, John Brotherton, a man revered in the community for his service but reviled for his substance abuse. And, driven by Tim's mistreatment, left in 1981 with her elder son, Charlie, Sean O'Brien. Bobby, who was too young to understand the gravity of the situation, felt compelled to stay with his father, whom he idolized. Consequently, Ann and Bobby's relationship grew strained, even after Tim's death, and never fully returned to Bobby's life. 9-1-1 Season 8, Episode 11 reveals that Ann blamed Bobby for choosing to stay with his father when he was a child with no discernment. As Bobby grew up, Ann chose her ministry work over him and traveled the country with Charlie, inadvertently ignoring Bobby. After Bobby accidentally starts a fire that claims the lives of his wife and children, Ann merely sends a sympathy note. Despite Bobby repeatedly almost becoming 9-1-1's first main character death, Ann resolutely keeps her distance until Ann and Bobby's reconciliation continues its bad parent redemption trend in 9-1-1. Although Ann and Bobby are combative throughout 9-1-1 Season 8, Episode 11, the procedural forces Bobby to forgive his mother and even go so far as to apologize to her by the end. He could have realized the situation was nuanced and didn't want to abandon him, but 9-1-1 should have allowed Bobby to stand his ground for how Ann treated him throughout his adulthood. Within the episode, Ann displays inexcusable behavior, including making a snide remark about the death of Bobby's family. The reconciliation was meant to be a heartwarming moment in 9-1-1, but it just feels frustratingly unnecessary. What makes Ann's haphazard martyrdom worse is that she is merely one of many parents in 9-1-1 who is presented as an antagonist and then given a futile redemption arc that fails to truly redeem the character. Chimney's father neglected him in favor of his half-brother. Buck had a secret brother in 9-1-1 that his parents hid from him, and Eddie's parents forced him to be the man of the house before he was even a teenager. Character backstories make for some of 9-1-1's best episodes, but they also make the parents feel unforgivable, only to later force superfluous forgiveness. Why 9-1-1 needs to start holding its bad parents accountable. Regardless of these storylines, the real family in 9-1-1 is the found family within the 118. By not following through on the bad parent arcs, 9-1-1 calls into question the sanctity of its found family and risks cheapening it by extending flimsy olive branches to every blood relative in the show. The best route 9-1-1 could take to deepen its characters and resolve their painful pasts is to have the 118 confront their parents or come to terms with their childhood, not forget the decades of hurt and bulldoze into unearned closure. In fact, Eddie's exit in 911 Season 8 presents the perfect opportunity for the procedural to hold some of its worst parents accountable for their actions. Ramon, George Del Hoyo, taught Eddie toxic masculinity, while Helena, Paula Marshall, is emotionally manipulative, and both parents care less about Eddie's mental health than they do about using their grandson, Christopher, Gavin McHugh, as a second chance at parenting. Now that Eddie has moved to Texas, Ramon and Helena's ulterior motives could come to light if 911 would just commit to its characterizations. Not every character has to be a hero, and that's okay. 9-1-1's Athena Grant boarded Dr. Odyssey on Thursday amid Casino Week catastrophe, but did she fold under the pressure of her prior cruise trauma? As 911 fans know, the last time Athena, played by Angela Bassett, stepped foot on a ship, it sank to the bottom of the ocean after being hijacked and blown up by terrorists. Which begs the question, why would she embark on another sea voyage at all? Early in episode 11, which saw Ryan Murphy's two ABC universes collide, Athena explained herself. After intercepting a criminal from boarding the Odyssey back at the port, Athena ventured on deck to recover his checked bags. In the process, she got locked in a closet and wasn't discovered until after Captain Massey had already hit the high sea. The Odyssey crew swooped in to take care of the beloved 911 protagonist and made her feel comfortable as traumatic flashbacks threatened her with a bad time. The straight-laced cop was treated to bottomless champagne and plenty of glamorous ball gowns suitable for the charter's theme, Casino Week. At one point, she even tried on a one-shouldered, yellow number reminiscent of her 911 dress worn on the aforementioned cruise from hell. But duty calls, literally. The FBI soon gave Athena a ring, interrupting her impromptu trip, and dealt a difficult hand. The man she previously arrested wasn't working alone and there were two passengers on board who they suspected were targeting the ship's vault. As Athena raced to save the ship from disaster, she quickly tracked down the suspects. She discovered, thanks to an incriminating trail of glitter, that the culprits were an unlikely pair, an elderly woman and her teenage grandson. And the duo wasn't targeting the vault at all, they were stealing passengers' high-priced jewelry and replacing it with 3D printed replicas. The crew helped Athena catch the geriatric Bonnie and her adolescent Clyde, and Captain Massey threatened to hold them both prisoner in international waters. Silly, Captain. Though that would have been a fun plot twist to follow for the rest of the season, the duo was ultimately flown back to land via FBI helicopter. Amid all that chaos, we also got some throuple updates. Avery is keeping the baby, and Max announced he's all in, whatever that means. Oh, and we still don't know whose baby it is. How fun! Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.